Clearly, a huge event could overwhelm all of our resources here, and we will not be able to provide essential services without the benefit of volunteers.
What has always amazed me is the level of dedication and the passion that they bring to the job.
They're ready to go out and do something now to make a difference when a disaster happens.
They, to me, are the bridge between law enforcement and the community.
It allows police departments to respond to those situations in a much more effective and efficient manner, which ultimately helps save lives. The city of Tempe is unique in that we are home to Arizona State University, one of the largest universities in the country. We also have many special events in our city. We have the New Year's Eve block party with approximately 120,000 people in downtown. Our volunteers last year logged over 12,000 hours, which equates to approximately $240,000.
It wasn't until the events of September 11th that I began to think there must be some way that they could help in a disaster, which is how we came to call it assistance in disaster.
A disaster can be anything from a gas line break, it can be a chemical spill, it can be an intentional act, it can be an explosive device that detonates in some sort of a neighborhood or something like that.
There is a very large gas leak to the rear of this residence. They do need to evacuate the area. Just give them the information and tell them that they need to grab their stuff and leave as soon as possible.
Our AID volunteers can help first responders by informing the public, informing the residents, by frankly knocking on doors and telling them, and then assisting them to evacuate if called for.
They are prepared through crisis management training to be able to deal with whatever type of victim of this disaster that they might reach.
And knowing that you have a trained, ready, willing, and able group of citizen volunteers who are willing to step forward and help you in those times, it's invaluable. Volunteers in the Assistance in Disasters program do receive NIMS and ICS training. Having volunteers as part of our emergency operations plan in the event of a pandemic or a major health disaster is going to be absolutely critical.
Radio training will prepare the volunteers to be comfortable with radios, with codes, with using them so that they're going to be more efficient when they're out at the scene. The volunteers are trained on different type of searches, whether it be a grid search, a missing search, evidence preservation. Depending on what the disaster is, volunteers can be used in traffic control.
Okay, so every time you snap your fingers, they're coming at you at almost 70 feet. That's pretty fast.
Warrant officers were excited that they could not only help us in a disaster, but those skills were transferable to everyday occurrences and made our volunteers more valuable than they already were.
Our trained volunteers actually have a staging location that they can respond to and wait for deployment in a critical incident. It also provides us with a location for the spontaneous volunteers, folks in our community that step forward in those critical times that want to help. We have a place where we can send them to be screened, staged, and ready for deployment. It's very comforting to know that as a command level officer, if I do need those additional resources, I can call one central location and have that. It's huge.
The Phoenix area is 52 cities all close together, and a disaster doesn't necessarily know what the boundaries are. So we began to look for partners. As of today, there are 4 partners in this effort: Tempe Police Department, Mesa Police Department, Avondale, and Glendale Police Department.
There isn't a police department out there that can respond to a major disaster on their own. The fact of the matter is we're going to need all the help we can get, and having a motivated, well-trained group of volunteers to help us is incredibly important.
The County of Sacramento has a population base of about 1.4 million people. In addition to running a correctional system and civil process and courts, we also serve as the largest municipal policing entity in the county.
The volunteer organizations were born out of a need to supplement the personnel that we have in the field.
Last year, they contributed 144,000 volunteer hours. Law enforcement service providers cannot begin to cover all of the ground that needs to be covered in terms of preparing a community for a disaster. And I can think of no better way to accomplish that than through volunteers.
They can go out and they can make notice to the public about things that might be happening. They can go out and knock on doors, pass out water in the event of heat waves.
Our volunteers would go to the door and just basically do what we call a welfare check to see if they have any specific needs, if they needed to be evacuated. Our search and rescue team, which is completely voluntary, is completely self-funded as well. They have the resources with their search dogs as well as personnel to be able to go out and find people. We use our horses quite a bit to cover a lot of ground because they're so mobile. And we train with several different types of search dogs. We have tracking dogs that can actually track where a person has walked. And we have air scent dogs that can actually search the area to pick up human scent. The drowning accident rescue team, they will respond to drowning accident victims, vehicle recoveries.
Diver down 1513.
If we have a disaster that takes place on the river, we have the resources that they can actually deploy divers into the river and search for survivors or victims.
Their willingness to respond and successfully find people who are facing imminent threat to their own safety is a tremendous resource to have, and it puts us in a position where we can better serve the community.
Our Sheriff's Amateur Radio Program, or SHARPS, provides a tremendous benefit to the department. In the event of an emergency, they will provide a base of communication. The NET training is a 2-hour course in which we train members of the community to be able to put together emergency kits and give them a system of how to respond.
What is the avian flu?
We just recently had a pandemic flu training, basically in how they can assist in an emergency situation.
With avian flu on the horizon, we have to have a plan to be able to disseminate medications and inoculations, and we have to work closely with the public health sector to assist them in security of their sites and providing safety for their folks that are delivering the services.
I don't think you can begin to measure the value of a trained volunteer corps to respond to emergencies.
We would never be able to provide all the services without the volunteers, and that's because they supplement what we can't do.
When the big one happens, everybody's got to be able to work together. You can either do business well or you can do business on an extraordinary basis, and the latter comes with the integration of a volunteer corps working in conjunction with the paid professionals and law enforcement.